an audiophile or an audiophile? Sometimes this question honestly keeps me awake at night because I don't think we ponder the question enough. Why enough is just not enough sometimes. And we invest more money and more money and more money into our systems to get in the best of the best as individuals, not as reviewers, but as hobbyists, until you are surrounded by so much equipment, all you can see is gear and you forget the music. And with that, it's been a bit of a wake-up call this year in regards to the mid-fi category. This year, we have had a renaissance. The flagship of yesteryear is this year's mid-fi at very approachable prices. And none says that better than this. Meze Audio Alba, a dynamic IEM that costs $159. Let's discuss. Hi, I'm CoGCO. Welcome to ConvinceMeAudio. This is quite exciting. Let's begin. Thank you very much to the Meze team and to Antonio Meze for sending these units in for review. It's very, very much appreciated. So let's begin. These IEMs are honestly, I think now, one of a kind in this category. Previously, the Letshuoer S12 review here or KATO were the dominant kings under $200. This cuts those by $40, $50. And honestly, it's so much better, it's insane. So $150, an Apple AirPod Pro-esque box. Incidentally, these destroy those for sound, but we will get onto that. You get a nice pill-shaped leather case. No, faux leather. It's not real leather. And then you get these tiny little things. For the first time, I think I can truly recommend in-ear monitors for the ladies because these are so tiny, even the tiniest of ears will have absolutely no problem, including the bore on these units. Look at this thing. And there is one more interesting fact about this that I think a lot of you will find quite pleasing, and it doesn't happen too often. So let me place these tips back on here quickly for you because it's quite important where the review is concerned and why I actually highlighted it here. So that's the basic box. That's the balanced cable for this unit. You can get a single-ended and a balanced cable. This is a dongle that you can grab from Meze because this is something they sent for your iPhone or Android phone. Obviously no headphone jacks these days. So this is predominantly designed to be used with your phone. So they're probably thinking no DAPs necessary, just a light dongle like this, which doesn't add any weight or anything to this. This is their IEM cable. The cable for the Letshuoer S12 and the KATOs were absolutely out of this world for that price category, and I think it was an industry changer. This is more of a light, not really audiophonic, but meh cable. I mean, it doesn't keep its shape. Look at this thing. This one's the balanced 4.4, but oh yeah, it's got kinks in it at the bottom. Maybe that will stretch out with time. I've never used this cable before. Obviously, I use my own custom cables here at CMA. So most of the time, these are not actually important to me, apart from the testing, just so that I can tell you guys what you will get. At least Meze have moved away from MMCX of their previous category of line of IEMs. This time we have 2-pin, which is far more universal. Thank you. I despise MMCX, and honestly, any manufacturer that sends MMCX IEMs in for review, I don't review. I immediately turn it down. The only exception being the IER Z1Rs. Once upon a time, they're still one of my favorite IEMs to date. They're absolutely exceptional, but those were made back in the day, so I can't blame them. In 2024, you design an IEM with MMCX, you're not gonna get a good reception here, not for hardware anyway. And the worst thing would be is if that IEM sounds really decent and then we're kind of having to put up with that mess. Apparently there is a tool to remove MMCX IEMs from their cables, and I've never come across one. So let me know if you have, put it in the comment section. Let's do a tour around the IEMs. Accessories wise, obviously I mentioned this little case. Keep your IEM safe. This is very pocketable. This is tiny, very nice. Anyway, these are what you're here for. So let's begin. These are a dynamic driver, 10mm. We're looking at 32 ohms and 109 dB sensitivity. Full specifications down here. Please feel free to read the literature in your own time. You're not here for that. You're here for these IEMs, and this is it. Honestly, if you have large ears, you might even have difficulty placing this in your ears because they might just disappear. They're absolutely minuscule. We're talking AirPod Pro 2 sort of size. Look at the size of this little thing. And their bore is almost flush with the housing, but at least it's got a little kind of shapy design for the inside of the ear, and it's not flat. It's not quite on the levels of Soundz. Obviously, those feel like customs more than IEMs on the underside. This is more flat, but at least it's got this protuberance that can rest in place. No contour for the ear bit here. But it's so freaking tiny, I don't think it will reach. I am not joking. This thing is absolutely minuscule. I have rarely come across an IEM this size. Maybe the original IE800 from yesteryear. It's been a long time. So, dynamic driver, full range, and something else exciting about these IEMs, which I wished and hoped for manufacturers to carry over from the AirPod Pro 2s and from their original AirPod Pros. Final have done this as well on their E800? E8000 Bluetooth IEM. I'm going to review those shortly and get that to you guys. Most of the IEM is not a bore. Look, you can squeeze it. So about, I would say, 0.5 centimeter of this IEM is basically the tip. And unfortunately, the tip is very stiff but silky. I have tried using other tips other than the custom ones that comes with it. I don't like it. I have tried 10 of them. This is the stock one. It's an open bore, doesn't impeach the bore. And this is the one you should use because it needs to have some stiffness because, like I stated, there is no bore to create a shape and a structure for it to rest in your ear canal. So all of that reliance is on the actual tip itself. Easy to drive. I mean, we're using the Questyle M18, or if I'm feeling adventurous, the CMA18 Portable. And if I wanted to give it the God tier treatment, my Luxury and Precision P6 Pro. Yes, $4,000 DAP on $150 IEM for very good reason. And with that, let's get on to the sound. You watching me? You looking at me? These are the best thing Meze makes. See you in the next review. It's as simple as that. Any of you can reach for this. Any of you. Consumer grade people who have never looked into the audiophile category. These utterly annihilate and destroy AirPod Pros. The sound caliber of these IEMs sits firmly in the $600 to $800 region, hand on heart. I have never seen anything like it. My jaw has been dropped more times by this thing over the last couple of months than some of the $20,000 and $40,000 units on the right hand side of the studio for assessment. This tiny thing at this price point is unbelievable. I don't know what voodoo magic is in here, but what I'm telling you now, from the shell design, this beautiful aluminium zinc sort of design, I don't quite know what the material is. I'll put it on screen for you. It's definitely not acrylic, and it's definitely not the usual resin we get. This is Meze Audio designed IEM, which basically means we know how to build stuff. Just look at their Meze Audio Elite Tungsten review here. Machining gods over there. What's really baffling more than anything else, apart from the design, price point, and sound quality caliber, is how freaking enormous these things sound. I was listening to it back to back alongside the Soundz Flame this morning, the Moondrop Variations, and the Volaire. And those are all $500 to $1,200 IEMs. This has the biggest stage out of all of those. It's in front of you and above. It's absolutely huge. And using the stock tips, if they fit your ears, because I think using some of the other normal tips that we use for other IEMs, I found that the frequency response went out of whack. It goes down to 20 Hertz. Absolutely no problem. Going back to the sound characteristics of these IEMs, just to show you like the difference between the tip sizes, this is the smallest. So if you are somebody with a very tiny ear, can you imagine this little tiny IEM, this little tiny tip? It will fit anybody's ears. Honestly, this is quite unique. The bass response is tight, subwoofer-esque, dynamic, goes deep, goes low. Climbing up to the mid bass is punchy, can be aggressive, can be laid back. I've tried from classical to electronic with fantastic results. Upper bass region does not impeach too much on the lower mids. Very articulate present mids. The upper treble is airy, open, and highlights the stage very, very well. And that's one of its strengths for this IEM. And that is the bass response, and the stage is absolutely exceptional. And this price category is jaw-dropping. Detail retrieval is okay. It's pretty good. I think it's along the same lines as KATO. Maybe a little bit more refined. Bass is better than the previous king, which has now been dethroned, the Letshuoer S12, though that is a planar. This is absolutely insane and superb. But the fit is very important. It's possible if this tiny IEM doesn't fit your ear, it might actually come across a little sharp, trebly, and lacking of bass, and that's because you're not sealing it properly. So play around if you do pick one of these up, but if you do, I am positive you're not going to be disappointed. Put it in the comment section if you have one and what your experience has been. Because I have had some people in my CMA chat over on Telegram. If you fancy joining, it's on the Patreon link down below. They can't fit it in their ear because obviously their ear is bigger than average, and this thing is tiny, like absolutely minuscule. I can't believe it. It's for the first time I can say, ladies, IEM for you. Sounds amazing. Doesn't break the bank and brings the thunder where bass is concerned. I missed the mid-range and I missed the lower treble for specific reasons, and that is the lower treble is a bit recessed on this. Climbing up to the mid-treble, you got a tiny bit of a elevation around 6 kHz to give a bit of that sort of snappy beryllium driver-esque sort of characteristic for drumsticks and rim shots on the snare drum, etc. And just giving enough energy to give life to the IEMs. Mid-range is fantastic. Vocals don't come across overly harsh at all. They are present, they're organic, they're actually quite texturally rich. This is a very good all-rounder. This IEM has to win an award this year. I don't know what voodoo they've done here. Everybody at Munich who heard this IEM for the first time could not guess the price category it sits in. Everybody was saying it's $600 or above. It's that fantastic. Have I praised enough? Have I gushed enough? You see, you're paying $150. I mean, the case could be improved a tiny bit, but I mean, it's better than some of the other monstrosities we've had at 10 times the price. This is very much reminiscent of the Letshuoer S12 case. You can drive it with anything. Honestly, it's very, very easy to drive. It does scale up a little bit. It does sound better, obviously, on these higher-end equipment, but you're not going to be using that. I mean, if you're having difficulty reaching for this IEM at $150, and this channel predominantly does not concentrate in this area of reviews as a rule, but hearing this at Munich, I had to bring it in. The CMA M15 is all you need, or something similar. There are plenty of dongles in this price category, maybe the RU6 or the RU7, W4 in the higher categories, the HF4 from Astel & Co. There's loads. It doesn't matter what you choose. Even an Apple Lightning dongle, it's still going to do the job very, very nicely. They are quite easy to drive. This is exceptional, and I do use this on a regular basis, and I do reach for it on my IEM desk, and there's like 30 of them over there, because it's honestly jaw-dropping at this price category. And you just sometimes think back to the beginning of the video, are we audiophiles? Or sometimes, if we look in the mirror, are we audio fools? Meze Audio team, I love the direction you guys are going. From the 109 Pro, you have been getting better and better, harder and harder hitting equipment. I can't wait to see you guys in 5 to 10 years, because without a doubt, this is exceptional. What are some of the caveats of this unit? Well, if you're used to true flagship summit tier IEMs like MAT24, or in the lower categories like UT12, or even lower categories like QDC Tiger, etc., the macro detail is obviously not as refined as you can imagine. The treble region on IEM is the hardest part to get correct. It's pretty decent for this price category. It might even punch up quite a lot above its category. So like I stated, $600. Not quite on the levels of the Moondrop variations, I would say. That the IEM it's a gold. And this is absolute gold in this category because it's a fourth of the price. Far more comfortable, far smaller, and it's terrifying. If you're used to those, that is something that you might discover. The cable could do with a little improvement, but maybe they will get on this. Yeah, I don't like this cable at all. I like the Letshuoer cable. Have a look at that, Meze, and design. I mean, come on, you guys build cables. You guys have some of the best manufacturer cables in the industry. Maybe there wasn't enough in the budget. I think most of the budget has gone for the IEM and the sound, if I'm being honest with myself, but I would like a little bit better of a cable. 5 tigers out of 5, absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and do all the YouTube stuff. That is the most irritating thing ever, so that's why I'll put it at the end of the video if you're still here. And Patreon members get early reviews before anyone else, and get to jump in the private Telegram chat where we talk about these things before they hit YouTube. If you'd like to join us over there, I'll see you soon.